Okay, so it looks like we're ready to go.
I think so.
I'm seeing everything good on my end, and we're recording.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So, hey, welcome to more Glorious Insights.
We're back.
We are, after
Yeah.
a bit of a hiatus there.
Yeah.
After we're just like,
I
it's going to be a season 2, and we're starting, and we're good again, and then silence.
well, I have a vagina now.
This is true.
Yeah.
And I have my own place in another city. And I'm back to a very low tech setup. Kind of like when we started. No. My setup when we started before was better than this.
Yeah.
At least I
That's
had a
rough.
real webcam. I have like a built-in laptop webcam,
Ooh.
and I'm running
Yeah.
it off of a laptop. There's a reason we're not doing this live.
Yeah. Yeah. That's rough. That is.
I'll live.
Yeah. Well, this
Probably.
way we get to play with things before we publish it, and I don't have to do that. So.
Go fuck yourself.
Well, I was talking to Marion too, and I'm like, I want to make this video, but there's just no way I'm going to be able to get through the video without there needing to be some cuts in there. And like, I just can't bother to do that, no matter how hard I try. And they're like, well, yeah, you just give them to me, and I'll cut them up. And I'm like, great, great. So they've done some of that, but I also haven't really recorded that many videos since then either. So
Right, you were doing your video recording thing for a while.
yeah, yeah, I was doing Captain's vlogs.
To fill the hole that glorious. Uh-oh.
Huh?
1 second.
Okay. You
This
have run
is.
out of hard drive space.
Well, no, I'm using an external.
Well, that's good. Well, sort of.
But I'm hearing a lot of crackling. That's not promising.
Mm. From you? From me?
From me. As in,
Mm.
like, my mic is peaking. I had this
Right.
issue on like the third episode that we did.
Is your mic just up too loud?
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go there. I should be okay. If anything, I'm too quiet. I may have to go in and tweak the audio after. Oh God, that's gonna be awful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yes, I can go in and I can tweak things after, but the downside is I can go in and tweak things after.
Yeah. Well, I certainly don't want anyone to have to go in and tweak audio levels. I mean, that's. Fuck.
It's annoying.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Alright, well, are you all set?
I think so. My audio levels look so low now. And yours are so fucking high.
Yeah. Well,
I think we had the opposite problem that we did
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It's just like your audios were too low, mine was good. Now mine is too low, yours is too high. Like you. Except there's
Yeah.
no such thing as too high.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah, no.
Maybe a little bit. Oh, yeah, I smoked DMT the other day.
1 second.
Okay.
Okay, talk.
I smoked DMT the other day.
Talk again.
I smoked DMT the other day.
One more time.
Puh.
Okay, I think you're good again.
Yeah? Is that good?
I think so. I hope so.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Levels look okay. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens.
All right.
Watch, we'll finish. We'll be like, this is totally unusable.
Yeah, it's way too loud.
And all of this will be staying in because I'm too lazy to do cuts. Yay, laziness for the win. Anyways, you were saying you smoked something. I don't remember what you said. I know you said it three.
DMT.
Anyways.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how was that?
Pretty intense. Yeah. It was at Oakley's going away party, their moving out party rather. And yeah, it was it was very intense. It's a lot like acid. Like it feels really nice, and there's this nice body high, and nice like visuals and stuff. But like if you take like 3 tokes, bam, like it just like my brain just like reset. I blue screened, the BIOS came up, and it's like okay, putting everything is coming back online real slowly, each system one at a time. It was pretty intense. I did not see any aliens or any of this extra dimensional shit people talk about.
This time.
Yeah,
This time.
yeah. And I mean, especially now that I'm not afraid of it, I'm curious to see if I can cross that barrier. Certainly, Oakley is excited to do that. But I don't know. The degree to which people find it convincing is what concerns me the most. Um, I don't want to be that convinced of anything that impossible.
I think it also depends on sort of how you go into it. Like if you let yourself give into the whole thing, then it's probably really convincing. But if you go in with skepticism, not so much.
Yeah, but even really skeptical people that I know have had those kinds of experiences.
That's the kind of experience that I chase after with hallucinogens.
Well, like I figured out I was trans when I was on hallucinogens, so I'm down with the whole concept.
I love that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you don't want any of this, sweetheart. It's way too spicy. Um, yeah, yeah. It was very, it was very intense and very cool. The thing is, yeah, like my brain just kind of like, so like there was no thinking going on. That's for sure.
As opposed to any
As opposed to
other
LSD.
time. I was more going for
Oh,
as opposed to like any other time.
right, right. No real change. Haha.
Ah,
Yeah,
it's not funny
yeah.
if I have to explain it.
um, but yeah, it was definitely, yeah, and it takes like 30 minutes for everything to kind of get back online. Um, but it was fun, that's for sure.
So basically, your brain becomes Windows 95.
Yes. Um, yeah,
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 Windows
Windows
95.
95. Yeah, yeah,
98's the one that boots a little bit faster.
yeah. 98's too reliable to be like this. This was yeah, just like, um, yeah. I didn't throw up. That was nice. Oakley throws up every time.
Yeah, that would not be a selling point for me.
Well, yeah, I haven't thrown up, so there you go.
All of one
I,
time.
I didn't even feel well. No, I did it. I did it more than once.
Okay.
So Oakley came over earlier in the week, as a matter of fact, and we did it just by itself. Um, and that was pretty cool. I didn't do a ton because I was a little afraid. But like just like with pretty much every other psychedelic, you do your first little bit, and you're like, oh, what was I afraid of? This is fantastic, and then one goes for it.
And then you just
Uh,
keep ramping it up, and to see how far you can go.
Pretty much, and like the interesting thing about this drug is that it's safe and interesting to do that. So
Mushrooms are pretty safe and interesting to do that with.
yeah, so is LSD.
Yeah.
I put 2 tabs of LSD up my butt
I
because I
know,
was just
I know you can't see my video just because of the way the Wirecast is set up,
yeah.
but I'm giving a really quizzical look right now because I'm confused by that statement.
Well, unsurprisingly, it was Oakley's idea. Um,
That doesn't
they
surprise me, no.
yeah, they didn't put it in there incidentally. Um,
That
I
surprises me.
Yeah, I put it there myself.
Doesn't
Um,
surprise me.
and yeah, like I don't know. I just was not getting high. We had done a bunch of mushrooms about a week before, and like again, just not getting high enough. So Oakley was like, "Well, I've done that before, and that works." And I'm like, usually I just swallow it, and it's true that you get most of it when you swallow it, but um, it's the digestive tract it's got to destroy some of the chemical, um, and like it's better it goes straight to the liver this way. So well, fuck it, and it worked.
LSD up the butt.
Yeah,
Who'd have thunk
yeah,
it?
two tabs.
I'm kind of thinking that might be the name of the episode.
Yeah,
LSD up the butt.
yeah. Anal LSD.
What a title to come back to.
Yeah. And I tell you what, it worked. What was really funny too is that was my catchphrase for the night. Whenever Oakley would pass someone a bowl of DMT, I would just be like, "Be careful with that stuff. That shit works."
I saw that on your Facebook.
Yeah, it really does.
So I've been told
Yeah,
multiple times.
yeah. So yeah, it was fun. I had a pretty good time. I met Oakley's boyfriend. He was uh,
Ah,
he was pretty cool. He's quiet. Kind of reminds me of Riley a little bit better looking than Riley. But
he's
both
got
of them
that
are
going
pretty.
for him.
Well, both of them, they're both pretty cute in that sort of way, that nerdy way.
Mhm.
So that's cool. Um, he seems like a nice guy. Yeah, he was pretty quiet. Of course, Oakley was very loud. Mary and Drew pretty much the whole time, which is pretty cool. Drew pretty cool, like random kind of thing. And then like cut it up and made like three like it evolved from like just a drawing kind of like a coloring drawing kind of thing, an abstract one into like three different projects, and then it ended up as like this cut up thing, which is looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. And yeah, I chatted with Oakley. Oh yeah. So there was this girl there, um, who shall remain nameless,
Okay.
and uh, she reminded me of my ex. Was definitely not her, fortunately, but was very similar. Like so okay, so like we Mary and I worked Saturday that night, the night of the party, and Oakley and her boyfriend and this other guy who stayed sober to pick us up, picked us up from work, um, and then brought us to our place to pick up a couple things, and then we go to Oakley's, and we get there, and this girl is just like, she has brought a dog, which of course I'm happy about, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to kiss that dog. It's cute. Um, like juicy nose and like the soft furry face and ears and everything. It was very cute. Um, and yeah, so this girl is there, and she's really given off like she's not in a good mood, and that much is very obvious. Um, and so like she starts just like saying stuff like loud enough for Oakley to hear, like oh well, I wish my friends were cool or whatever,
Okay,
some kind of
pause for a second.
yeah.
Because you are falling way behind.
Yeah, am I lagging?
Yeah, you're lagging pretty badly.
Oh, that sucks. Is it me?
I think it's a little bit of both of us.
Hmm. Should I
Okay.
lower my output resolution?
No, because that would just screw everything up.
Okay.
It's bad enough that I change frame rates right in the middle of the broadcast
Okay.
on your side.
Okay.
Mm, okay, I think. Okay, I think you should be okay.
Okay.
Anyways, keep going.
Um, so yeah, so this girl was and like everybody is fucking really stoned, so like everybody is on lots of drugs and emotions are going to be running high, so everybody's supposed to just give each other kind of like that level of understanding and that buffer, um, and yeah, so something happened earlier before we got there. And this girl took it like super personally. And Oakley was just joking around. They said something sarcastic, and this girl took it, really personally, like in a really weird way. And like she's a person of color, and thought that Oakley was like making fun of their ability to communicate,
Um,
but Oakley was just like like borrowing one of my aphorisms, just being like, well, that's talking to people sucks sometimes, like, hey, that's how conversations go, and like because they were talking to somebody who was misunderstanding them. I guess is what I've tried to reconstruct. Lychee was, or sorry, oh well, that's their name. This person was, and and they were and they were relaying that story to Oakley, and Oakley was like, yeah, sometimes people are stupid, is what Oakley was saying.
Sometimes people
But
are.
yeah, and like this person that this girl was talking to was obviously stupid. And then of course Oakley, and then of course like she did the same thing to Oakley, which is just super ironic. And yeah, she was a real bitch about the whole thing. And it's like I was like, okay, like let's Oakley, let's go and we'll talk, and like let me just, because I'm in the middle of everything, so I don't know what the heck is going on. So I don't want to be like, you're being a bitch, and Oakley, you're great. So I want to figure out what the deal is. So I get part of the story from Oakley and part of the story from their boyfriend, and it's like, what? you know, like she's getting, like she was getting really upset about what was said, and Oakley's like, whoa, 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 like this was a joke, just messing around. Anyways,
So that was a thing then. Whoops.
yeah, so that happened to the party, and unfortunately she left soon after, and then we all had a great time. Um,
Yay.
Yeah, and like it was just so it was so surreal. Like it was really like that's what it must have been like when other people were in the room when Arya was being a bitch. Like it was just like you could just see it in the air and like feel it and just be like, wow, that person is handling this the wrong way.
Yeah, and then you just want to get as far away from that as possible, or stand back and watch the fireworks, because that could be fun
Yeah.
too.
Well, if I wasn't tripping, like
Oh,
the
yeah, no, that
yeah,
would be right.
yeah, so like it's making everybody anxious, and again, like this girl's really just like really holding on to the whole thing, and Oakley's like, like, hey, like I'm on 7 hits of acid, and
It's like
was just about to smoke a huge bowl of DMT.
it's like we're all
um
tripping balls here. Just lay off.
yeah, so like so just give me, if you just give me some time, like we could talk about this later when I'm not really fucking stoned. I didn't mean, as I said before, I didn't mean it, and blah blah blah, and yeah, she was just like, whatever, I'm done. And like, as she's leaving, she's like, Black Lives Matter, suck my dick.
All right then. That's
Because Oakley is a really big supporter of like Black Lives Matter and their position in the with as it pertains to the parade, and and like this girl just thinks that Oakley is just like faking it.
All right then.
which is like, damn, like they're gonna fake it and make the world a better place for nothing.
What is your take on that anyway? I've been meaning to ask on the whole Black Lives Matter thing.
Well, it's my understanding that they just don't want the police to be there, like in a military capacity, in the parade, um, which totally makes sense to me. Seems like a reasonable demand. Obviously, the police should protect the parade like they would any other parade. Like they should be, like in the crowd, because people do hate us.
Oh yeah.
So like it just takes one person with a gun to like kill a whole bunch of us. So like let's have police around. But any police who are like in the parade in a float, there's no reason for there to be a tank. There's no reason for them to be, like in uniform with weapons. You know.
So, so with that, and that's where I think my opinion kind of differs from other people that I know, and I think no, not with weapons, but I think they should
Mhm.
be allowed to march in uniform if they want,
Yeah, like
just not with weapons.
yeah, and I could agree with that notion as well, for sure. Like I would imagine, if they're not in uniform, like they still have a float clearly identifying them as the Vancouver Police Department.
Oh, absolutely.
But and I think like gaying them up is a good suggestion as well. Um, you know, like get dressed up and dance.
Oh,
You know.
absolutely.
Um, so I think that that's a perfectly reasonable thing, and I think that it's been framed in a way as to suggest that the VPD should not be allowed to participate in the parade. Period.
See, and that's what I've been hearing a lot of, where it's just like they shouldn't be allowed to, the police shouldn't be allowed to participate, period, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where
And that is not what Black Lives Matter has stated. That's not what they want.
it's just what kind of what's being twisted, and that's what's been
Yeah,
hitting the news a lot, and it's just something that's getting lost in the, getting
yeah,
crossed over the wires.
yeah.
Whether or
Their
not
message
it's
is
for
their
whether
message is being obscured. Maybe intentionally.
Well, that's what I was gonna get at. It's like whether or not it's intentional, we don't really know for sure. I think
Yeah,
to some extent, for some outlets, it's intentional. For
yeah,
others, not so much.
yeah. I mean, it's this like we're just desperate for good journalism, really. Like there's just no good investigative journalism remaining. So
No,
like,
which is a shame.
yeah.
We could be investigative journalists on this show.
I would love to do that. And as a matter, I'm surprised Marion did not somehow hear you say that through the computer and burst in here, being like, "Did you say that we can be investigative journalists?"
We can be whatever we want. If we want to be, we could probably be better news on this show, making fun of news, than
Yeah.
actual news.
Oh, I'm totally down with that. Totally, 100%.
But we would as soon as any sort of truth gets come out, Trump will say we're fake news.
Yeah, which will make us famous.
Yes, it will.
So there you go.
And the view count will go through the roof.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a shame that there aren't better that there aren't very many good news sources anymore.
Yeah, it's just no funding. I was talking to a friend yesterday about it actually, and he's looking for into a way to crowdsource journalism and other kinds of projects, journalism and theater projects. Um, so hopefully that works out, but it's still too early to figure out what's going on with it.
So there's no concrete plan. It's just sort of
He had a
wondering.
business plan, but it's still under wraps.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but yeah, it sounds like it could be interesting. It's actually like one of the only website plans I've heard where I was like, I think that actually might work. Don't tell
Oh.
my mom, but like my mom's website is just not going to work.
What is she trying to do?
She's making a botanical website.
And why won't it work?
There's just too much information and no easy way to arrange it. And she doesn't know enough about, like, she can't make the website herself, so she has to pay somebody to make it for her, and that's where all of her money is going to go. So she's learning she's taking classes. Um, And I mean, I hope that works for her. It's plausible. It's not a bad idea. It just may not be popular enough to gain traction in the time frame that she's hoping that it will.
Well, what's the time frame that she's hoping for?
Like right after she starts it, whenever she actually is able to get around to starting it.
That's not how that
It's been
works.
it's been 6 months away for a couple of years now. But
Oh,
and
kind of like my book.
yeah, my book too. Um, there's been a lot of just I lost my train of thought. Damn it,
There's been a lot of something.
that doesn't help.
There's been a lot of LSD up the butt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. It's a true fact.
So what
I
else
might
have?
do
Hmm?
I might do MDMA tonight.
I'm surprised you didn't do it before the show.
Well, I have to go to Oakley's in order to do it. So
At some point, we should both take psychedelics before doing an episode.
for sure, absolutely.
This sounds like fun.
Excuse me. I'm totally poor.
And
Utterly,
then, and then,
devastatingly poor.
and we'll do the show before I have to work.
Okay.
And then I'll go to work tripping, and bad time will be had by all.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're off the air on all the channels. But Rain, everything's on there. No, no, no. There, look, there's dragons on all the channels.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to get everything set up before we drop.
Oh no, no, no. I'm talking about at work.
Oh, right, okay. Oh,
No, no. Everything would be set up here before we drop. I mean, now that I got everything sort of running, it's a
yeah.
matter of tweaking it once I watch the recording and hope that it's usable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this whole episode might be tanked.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll try not to talk about anything too interesting.
But no, it'll be like that one time where we recorded a really great intro
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then it like wasn't going anywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of which, so what was this discussion with this guy on your
Oh,
date?
that it took me a moment. All right. So what was I? I'm trying to remember what I said.
Was it there? I remember socialism and something
Right.
else.
Right. So the first part was the third wave feminism. So
Right.
we got into a discussion about feminism in general, and I brought up about like this whole third wave feminism being complete bullshit. Uh,
Yeah.
it's there's this whole focus on consent culture, and like
Right.
if you're if you get go out and you get drunk, you make the decision to get drunk. You know
Yeah.
there's a chance that you're gonna go home with someone and you're gonna make a mistake.
Right.
It
Right.
happens. We all make this mistake, or most of us do. I have
Yeah.
repeatedly. Um,
It's a mistake I wouldn't mind making a couple times.
yeah, it's a mistake that you make, and you wake up in the morning and go, fuck. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna sneak out the door, and away you go. And my problem is that now you have this whole sort of culture about being able to wake up and going, he raped me because I wasn't making this because I wasn't fully sober, so
Yeah.
I wasn't able to consent.
Yeah. The retroactive removal of consent, plus the idea that because you're intoxicated, you cannot possibly consent.
Now, there's a line there to be drawn where it's like if you're falling on the floor drunk and like nearly passed out,
Yeah.
no, that's a clear line right there
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
says
Yeah.
no, you can't make that decision. At that point, yes, I agree, it would be rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, then you should hopefully you have good friends that'll bring you home, and not
Yeah. Yeah.
leave you to get home, and then you end up walking and ordering a cab to your
Yeah.
bank, and then getting lost on the way across the street, and somehow getting
Yeah.
lost, and then in the car with a stranger who locks the door.
Okay.
Not a true story at all. No, no. I gotta
Okay.
say, nothing wakes you up faster than
Yeah.
when you suddenly hear the door go click,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. That
oh, do
adrenaline.
you sober up fast?
Yeah. The adrenaline's gonna slam into your body pretty quick, I think.
Especially when the guy's
And
going
then,
beside you, being like, "I really want to get laid." And then,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was, I really want to get laid. Click. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And
That's
it was,
definitely. Yeah.
so I'm just like,
All of those. The order of all of that is incorrect. Is not good.
no, no, it wasn't. Um, haven't gotten, and that wasn't my friends being bad friends. That was my friends thinking that one group of friends had me and the other friends thought the other group had me. And I don't know what's
Mm,
going on because I can barely function.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. Um,
Yeah.
speaking of unable to consent. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's a problem that I have is that it's this whole, it's consent taken too far, far too far.
Yeah.
It's,
I
yeah,
mean, like it's straight up impossible. Like the whole yeah the whole removal of consent after the fact is
yeah, you can't
like you
retroactively do
can't do
that.
that.
That's like
Yeah.
me signing a contract to work for a certain salary and then after the fact going, oh, yeah, but no, I didn't agree to that. I agreed to 20,000 more than what you gave me. Come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had one drink before I signed this, so I was
Yeah.
intoxicated.
I wasn't able to do it. I was running on like 4 hours of sleep. I wasn't able to like properly sign. So 20 grand, pony up.
I wasn't sure whether or not. So there you go.
Yes. I didn't understand some of the wording.
Yeah.
And that's like the, with the
Yeah.
whole
It's
police, do you understand your rights? It's like, well, if you don't, that doesn't make you any less arrested.
yeah. Yeah.
It just means later on they'll reread them to you. And yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Can't be like, I don't
Yeah.
understand it. You can arrest me.
Yeah.
If it did work that
Yeah. So
way, yeah.
it's a frustrating thing for sure. And I mean same thing with like yeah the like I think one of the fetish events that I went to was like that. There were no drugs or alcohol allowed of any kind
That's
uh,
reasonable.
because it will because the idea being that you can't give consent and no I can't agree with the reasonableness of that. Like I certainly think that some people can't handle those situations.
Mhm.
Um, like, but I think those people ought to be removed and banned rather than nobody being allowed to drink while I'm trying to have sex on a boat.
Oh, it was on a. Oh, well, then that should have been that. No,
Although
it's
there was drinking served on the boat. And
okay.
they said no, no, that, but it was actually that's right. It was the other thing, the with the kink space. But anyways, whatever.
I mean, I can understand for those events. I don't. I don't agree with the reason that they're doing it, but I can
It makes more
understand the
sense than anywhere
logic.
else. It just impinges on my fun is the thing. You know,
And
that's
some people it helps sort of loosen up. And again, there's that whole sort of line like if you can handle it, then
yeah,
For me, I tend to have more fun. I get a little bit. I'm able to go with things a little bit more when I've had a few drinks. I don't mean
yeah,
that in sort of I'm just gonna let anything happen, but it's more of a
yeah.
I'm not as tense.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never been in a state where I was not in control of my actions.
I have, but I know that I'm getting to that point.
Yeah,
And there's a choice that I make, a very clear choice of if I keep going, I'm going to have a hard time making decisions. I'm going to have a hard time functioning. I need to know, am I safe where I am? Am I
yeah,
okay? Can I go? Can I take that extra step and get to a point where I'm not able to function properly? Is it safe?
yeah, yeah,
And if the answer is no, or for some reason that I can't afford to do that there, like if I'm at a bar or something and I'm not with people that I know, then the
yeah.
answer is no. There's a choice. I stop. If I'm with people that I know and I trust, or I'm at home or at a friend's place, I can go that
Hmm.
far and I can get as drunk as I possibly can to a point where I pass out. I haven't gotten that
Hmm.
drunk in years though.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that's good.
It takes a lot of alcohol to get that drunk.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, we drank a lot that months ago when we went to Experience.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
we
that
sure.
was the most that I had drank in a long time.
You sure when the moving was happening, that wasn't because you were. I remember that we were both like really drunk.
We were. And then I
Yeah,
made the mistake of getting a car ride.
yeah,
That was bad.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's probably the drunkest I've been in a long time, for
okay.
sure.
That actually might have been the drunkest that I've been
Yeah.
because I was not really able to function.
Yeah.
I drank a lot that day.
Yeah.
And it was just like throughout the day too. I think it was just heavy drinking throughout the entire day, as
Shit.
opposed to experience where it was heavy drinking in just a short period of time.
Yeah. That's usually what I do.
All day drinking or short period, short
Short
burst.
period. Yeah.
Short burst is the way to do it, as opposed to as opposed to heavy all day drinking.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do all day drinking, it's usually pretty light.
Yeah. Yeah.
That day though, it was just not a good day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna start early, and I started like at 1, with the idea that I'd get really drunk, and then like around 5 or 6, I'd sober up, and I'd be able
Hmm.
to go hiking after,
Right. Right.
or I'd be able to have a few more drinks, and then I'd be able to go buzzed hiking, and I'd be okay.
Yeah. That would be fun. Sort of. I don't know. I cannot function when I'm drunk or when I've had a drink. Like like alcohol for me is like what weed is for most people. It seems
Hmm,
like a lot of people will they'll say that they can't smoke a joint and work.
I can.
Me too, obviously. In fact, it's the best, but it's how I prefer to work. Um, and but like other people, most people I know, like most normal people, most adults, people who are like
Responsible.
yeah, like 40 to 60, older
Uh,
than me, a lot older than me. Most of them will be like, oh yeah, no, I can't, I could never. Like a lot of people were shocked that I would, of these people were shocked that I would drive while smoking, and
yeah.
I'm like, it's, it's one of the best times to smoke. Like it's great, it's awesome. As a matter of fact, in the summer, the T-tops and the hatch off, and geez, like I can't wait. There's
Yeah,
gonna be like 4 people in my car.
yeah, that'll be. Yeah, I mean, it's if you can. I think it's just all about knowing yourself and what you can and can't handle too.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like if I can't be like if I'm going to smoke a joint before I go somewhere, um, I can't smoke a joint sitting down and then go. Like especially if I'm going to drive, I do need to smoke a joint while driving. Otherwise, I'll be too relaxed. And yeah, the change in speeds is too much.
And that's fair. I mean, it's the same thing too when I'm like, if I'm smoking a sativa, I
Hmm.
need to be working at the same time. If I'm just smoking a sativa and doing nothing else, then I do get anxious.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
has sort of a bad effect. Just like if I'm smoking an indica and I'm trying to do stuff, that's a mistake. um,
hmm
then I
hmm
usually just end up in a really bad place. But if I'm relaxing while I'm doing it, it's all about what I'm doing while I'm smoking.
yeah,
It's the same thing with
absolutely.
drinking. It's about what I'm doing and the reason why I'm drinking with drinking. So if I'm drinking to try to escape from something, then generally it's a I'm okay until I start to sober up. Then I'm in a really
Yeah,
bad place.
yeah,
If I'm
yeah,
drinking, socially or drinking with friends, then I'm in a good place the whole time.
yeah,
If I'm getting to a point where I'm just buzzed, so I'm loosened up a little bit, so I can function for whatever. Like I can get buzzed and I can work.
yeah,
I can write. You know, I can write better when I'm highly caffeinated than I can when I'm drinking. But
yeah, yeah.
um,
I can't do
speaking
shit when I'm highly caffeinated.
speaking of, I got a French press today.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you can't see it. Right. Never mind.
Yeah, I can't see shit. Looks great. Awesome.
Like
I love the colors.
pieces just broken, just like shards of glass in my arm, being like, look, like that looks great.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I got one of those bean grinders today as well.
Oh, nice, nice. You're
And
going a long way.
and I found the bulk barn, which meant I spent too much money.
Oh,
Well, I went there to get coffee beans
yeah.
because grocery stores here don't sell like the bulk containers.
Oh,
I
weird.
think Vancouver they do, if I recall right.
I think so. Yeah.
And like they used to in places, but it seems to I've been to a bunch of different grocery stores and nah, they're all in those containers that are like pre-measured out.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, bulk stores like the Bulk Barn
Burp,
are
burp. Bulk
Sorry,
burn.
bulk burn.
Burk burn.
Burp, burp,
Okay.
burp.
Well, that's weird.
And I
Um, what was I going? Oh, right, right, right. So I'm going off of medication.
and how's that been working out for you?
Not bad. Not bad. I've been tapering, as the doctor instructed. And I'm just like, I'm not even a week into tapering, so
Oh,
still early on, but I'm getting there, and yeah, it's not bad. I think I think it might be better. Like I'm looking forward to continuing to take my Dexedrine. I feel like that gives me a lot of useful energy. But when I mentioned that to my doctor was like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to prescribe it to you for like low energy." And I'm like, "It's a stimulant. I take it so that I have energy,
see,
so that I have
that's
the energy to concentrate."
it does require a weird amount of energy.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, she said that like it can only be prescribed in conjunction with an antidepressant of some kind.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right then.
So that's annoying. Because it
So that
just go off the wall.
that makes me think that it's an accelerant. I think it's called. It's there's certain drugs that you take with your antidepressants to sort of amplify the effect. I believe they're called
Yeah, yeah,
accelerants,
something like that.
and
I don't think
that's
it's that, but it's something like that.
okay. Well, if it's not
But
that,
yeah,
then that's okay because accelerants are dangerous.
yeah, accelerants set things on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got I can't remember either. Um, and yeah, like there's they do interact with each other in some way. It increases the bioavailability somehow. Um, and but yeah, I don't know. It's just that was the thing. Like I said like why? Like this is if this is going to work, then can we not do that? And yeah, she said no. So whatever, we'll see.
Should be an interesting experiment.
Yeah. Um, and yeah, so by the end of April, I think I'll be off. I'll have been off everything for a month.
Wow.
Or no, I'll be off everything for a couple 2 to 3 weeks by the end of April. That's what it is. Except for my hormones, of course. And I'm going on testosterone.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Unless you're serious, I don't think you're
No, I
serious.
am.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I have a prescription for testosterone.
Why?
Just a small amount. Well,
Oh,
because it's what they prescribe to people with low energy and low libido. So there you go.
well
My
then.
doctor said that there is like they've prescribed a, like what is it like? I think it's like a quarter of what a cis male, or sorry, a cis female would get.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very small amount.
All right.
Very small amount.
So if
And
anything, it'll normalize your system almost.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. And my other idea is after that, if that doesn't work, to add progesterone. Because my mom is on progesterone supplements and she's been on them for like her whole life,
I
and finds them important for her psychological well-being.
Well, that's the thing. I found that was the interesting effect with progesterone is that I found it had a pretty positive effect on me psychologically. I
Hmm.
did get there's the whole sort of bitchiness aspect that came with it at first, but
So no
it
change.
it didn't pretty much.
Yeah.
But like it didn't affect me. I saw it
Yeah.
as everyone else's problem.
Right. Right. Sure. Sure.
It's like it doesn't. I'm okay with it. It's like it's everyone else's problem that I'm bitchy.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
they wouldn't be so fucking
are you saying
stupid.
that are you saying that everybody with BPD just has way too much progesterone?
Ew. I
Well, I
have
guess I should get on it
nothing.
then.
Yeah, it's No,
Yeah.
it
All right.
was
Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be my next one for sure.
progesterone.
Yeah. Yeah. After testosterone, see what it's like.
So if you become increase, if you nope, never mind.
well,
I'll never notice the difference.
I want to be really horny. Like.
Well, I was gonna say bitchy, but
Well, and yeah, and indeed, like, well, that was one of the things my mom was complaining about. My new medication. Like, oh,
that you're a bitch.
yeah, the venlafaxine is making you. It's you're just really bitchy again.
No, I think that's just your personality.
Well, and I'm like, well, I can't afford marijuana, so damn right I'm bitchy. I'm nervous about it. So yeah.
And you're supposed to be getting a prescription for marijuana, aren't you?
Well, that's the hope. So like, I'm gonna book an appointment with my mom to go with me, and yeah, I'm just gonna let my mom, tell him because my mom's like, I can't afford to keep supplementing your costs. So like, we need the government to pay for your weed, and we need you to be able to like work.
I was actually really excited when I found out that there's an Eden here.
Yeah,
There's a few of them,
yeah,
and there's one
yeah,
not
yeah,
too far from a few subway stops away.
yeah,
So on
yeah. At
payday,
the
I intend on going there. I have my card still, so
nice.
hopefully.
Yeah, they have ads for hiring in the Vancouver one. Do you have friends in Toronto? Let
Mm-mm.
us know because we're hiring.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'll take a part-time job doing that with my full. No, I'll have no energy. No one will ever
I
hear
can't.
from me
I
again.
didn't get the job at the other dispensary, so I'm going to apply at eggs.
Well, they probably have an opening after what happened, right?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, so delicious. So yeah, yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. Um,
So, did you ever find out the exact reason why she got canned?
yeah, yeah. Because she didn't get along with customers. She was just bad at her job.
And that surprises no one.
Yeah, no one is surprised. Lol, lol.
But anyways, the second thing that we had talked about on that date,
Mm, yeah, socialism. Yeah.
yeah, socialism. So, um, just getting back to that. So my view is like the thing with the whole basic income pilot that's going on in Ontario right now. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a step in the right direction. Um,
Yep.
and I think it's definitely a step towards sort of a socialist culture where we can kind of do away with money and we all sort of have absolute basic things. Um,
Sure.
and
That's
then
going a little far, it seems, but sure.
well, let's let me rephrase it as for as far as like basic needs like food, housing, clothing, that kind of thing. We all have the we're all given at least the minimum, and then we can go and others we can
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can go more, but at least like people who don't have certain things have them now,
Yeah,
so we can
absolutely.
fix those problems.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not certainly not saying sort of a. I'm not certainly not talking about like a communist kind of culture where everyone's equal about all things, because that's
yeah,
just not realistic.
yeah,
Um, so again, that's sort of my take on it, where it's just like it'll be to sort of have that base, but then also be able to sort of still work, still be able to earn more if you're willing to pull your weight more, and then people who kind of don't. Um, Thinking the best way to explain it, but like the people who, basically the people who are on it for a free ride, um, you know, they can live and survive, but not necessarily thrive as much as if you're, say, willing to do things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
again, what
Right.
sort of your condition of life is dependent on how much work you're willing to put in, but no one should ever have to be homeless and on the street.
Yeah,
Everyone should at least have, their requirements to survive. It shouldn't cost a lot of money to live.
yeah,
You should still be able to live even if you're not doing well and not have to like
yeah.
suffer.
Well, and like it removes the like if you lose your job, like we're like we can't afford rent because Marion has been sick and has been taking time off work.
Mhm.
So like, you know, And like that's not a situation that should happen.
No, exactly. So I mean, like to be able to have that sort of security, and it's almost like a security net of basic essentials, and
Yeah,
it's nice to have that. Um, and I definitely think, like again, that's the direction that we're moving. If this works, and I think it will, it's worked in other
yeah.
parts of the world.
They don't screw it
Um,
up.
yeah, so we don't screw it up.
Yeah.
So, and that's the and that's the issue that I had with the person who I went on that date with, was that he doesn't he doesn't see it that way. He sees it as this is a replacement for welfare, and they're gonna it's just designed to get people off of the system, and they're not going to give enough money for people to survive. It's a welfare replacement system.
Well, it is
And
intended to replace welfare.
it is. It's intended, but it's intended
Yeah.
to do away with that system
Yeah.
altogether,
Yeah.
and to sort of put everyone on to start on an equal playing field,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yep.
But again, he's not. He says that it doesn't solve any of the problems. We do have deeper
Right.
problems that need to be solved, but I do think this
Yeah.
solves for a lot of people some major issues
It sure
because
does. Like
because
if you don't need to like steal to survive,
exactly.
that's a pretty good thing.
I had a friend who wouldn't steal like basic things to survive. She would steal things like magic cards and whatnot. So,
Mm.
things that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
So anytime I went with her to like Walmart or something, I had to stop her from putting stuff in her purse
Shit.
and be like, no, it's like, if you're gonna steal basic things to survive, like bread
Yeah.
and I'm for that.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and at
Well,
a
I didn't pay for
store
lunch
thing.
a single time when I was going to BCIT.
Well, that's the thing. When I worked at a convenience store, I didn't pay for groceries once for like the 3, 4
Yeah.
months that I worked there.
Yeah.
It, but again, I wasn't making all that much either, so my money was
Yeah.
sort of able to go towards debts and rent and my cat.
Yeah. Well,
S
that's what you got to do what you got to do.
yeah, and so I mean, it made things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And it's not like the store didn't ever see the money for it. I mean, people just paid asshole tax.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
But
The
yeah, I
harsh
mean,
tax.
and then the nice people got discounts. But yes, I called it the
Shit.
asshole tax. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've enacted an asshole tax on someone. I've only had one asshole that I needed to tax.
And how'd that work out for you?
Great. Lots of nice dresses. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
But you know
again,
what?
go ahead.
I have to go because my throat really fucking hurts.
Okay.
Like I
We've
don't know
had
what the
this
hell's
for
going on.
almost an hour, so yeah,
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
good.
So I'm sorry about that, but
Oh, that's okay. I'm
we'll do another
recovering.
episode
I'm
again soon.
recovering from a cold, so it's my throat's
Yeah.
been sore all day.
Yeah. I feel like I may have smoked a little bit too much tobacco.
That will do it as well.
Oops.
Yeah, well,
What are you gonna do?
that's okay.
Too late.
Anyways, have a good night,
Yeah. You too.
and we'll talk again.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good catching up with you, and we'll talk again.
Sounds good.
Have a good
You too.
week, Aroni.
Thanks, and to you. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.